Hey guys, today you're going to get to see a little bit different garage floor pour. This one's got two center drains in it, one for each bay. These are these new mag floats we're using from ConcreteToolsDirect.com if you want to check those out. You can see Luke has one in his back pocket. I believe Darren's got one. I got one. We also got new bow floats from them and some other hand tools, so definitely go check them out. But two floor drains, so there's only one way to pour this garage floor and get it right, making sure both these bays individually slope to their right floor drain. You don't want to mess this up, right? Like the people hire us to do this and do it right. Now the floor mix is our 3,500 pound mix, PSI mix. It's got fiber mesh in it. It's got the water reducer in it. We will saw cut joints in this, and the compaction underneath this 2 inches of styrofoam is really good. We know the guys that did it. Now, inside a concrete wall like this, you don't need wire mesh, you don't need rebar. The floor's not going anywhere, right? It's locked in. The compaction of the soil is really good, so it's not going to settle. It's not going to heave because it's got the 2 inches of styrofoam. And the saw cut joints should, I say should because nothing's ever a guarantee when it comes to concrete cracking, control the expansion, contraction, and the cracks in the concrete. So we typically never have trouble pouring garage floors like this inside a frost wall. Now we got two trucks here today. The reach was a little further than we could reach just from the truck chute alone, so we just hooked on our 16-foot chute, and we're getting this back piece done with that, making it a little bit less distance to pull around. But with the water reducer we use, we can get this thing up to a 6.5, 7 slump, and it would really only test out at about a 3-inch slump as far as the water cement ratio goes. So it makes pulling this stuff around a little bit easier. And it's not so loose that you can't still slope this. Like this slopes 1.5 inches, maybe even 2 inches from the back corners to the drains. And then we're going to have a high point in the middle, which is what I'll show you in a minute, which is really the key to this thing right here, knowing how to do that high point in the middle and not screwing that up, making sure the slope is right from the center of the garage floor down to each drain. But we've literally done hundreds of these over the years. So this is, for us, this is basic. It's normal. It's easy. But maybe I take that for granted because we've done so many, and I'm just trying to explain it out to all you guys. So from the wall, the concrete wall to the drain, the concrete floor all slopes. Like there's not one flat spot in this floor. Basically, it all has some slope to one drain or the other, and that's really the key. When they drive their car in here over each bay, basically the car is going to be centered over the drain, right? We want any water that drips off that car from the back bumper to the front bumper to the sides to run into the drain. Like the owner's not going to want a puddle in there, and that's kind of how we plan this out as we pour it. We check the drains with the laser. We didn't set the drains; those were all set. So we check the drains with the laser. I do set the outside perimeter grade based on what the builder or the homeowner tells me, and I make sure that the floor is thick enough. I can bump it up a little bit if I need to, a 1/2 inch here or there. Isn't going to really cost them any more concrete. As far as any, that's going to add up to a significant amount of money. The key is making sure you got enough slope per foot to get the water to run to the drain. That's really the key. And I don't like going less than 1/8 of an inch per foot. So in 8 feet, that's about 1 inch, right? And this is 30 feet. So we got about maybe 14 feet from the inside of the concrete wall to the drain. So just a little over maybe 1.5 inches of slope right there. Now again, if you've watched any of my previous pours, and if you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Put new sub in the comments, and I'll enter you into a drawing to win some of the gear that we wear, the hoodies, the t-shirts, stuff like that. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back. I appreciate you watching my videos. Put old sub in the comments, and I'll also enter you into a drawing to win some of the stuff we have that we wear on a normal basis. So again, this is the first truck. Luke's mag floating around the floor drains, and there's multiple different types of floor drains you can put in there. The builder we're working for here, one of these big square ones, they're about 12 inches. You can put 6-inch ones in there, 9-inch ones in there, round ones in there. You could put a trench drain in there, a 4-foot trench drain. The slope to them is basically all the same. So Darren is up back, and you can see he's kind of striking a pad from the concrete wall to the center drain. That slope's about 1.5 inches right there. And we're going to use that as a guide to screed that bay here in a minute. Now we got to get a center mark first. We're going to use the laser for this. Now that laser stick is set to the same grade as the outside, where up against the foundation wall where we snapped a chalk line. So that's our high point right there, and we want to make a high point in between the two drains. This is normal for us. It's standard for us. We want the concrete floor to rise back up in between the two garage bays so the water will slope individually to each drain. Now it doesn't have to be exactly the same height as the outside wall, but it just needs to be higher than the drains. So if there's a 1.5 inch slope from the concrete wall to the drain, I don't have to make this pad 1.5 inches higher. I could make it only 1 inch higher here in the middle if I wanted to. And that's basically what we do. So it's still a little bit lower than the outside of the foundation where the grade is, but it's still enough higher in the middle of the floor that the water will slope to the drain, if that kind of makes sense. So this is how we screed a bay, and I call a bay like that back section we're in right now, like that's a bay. There Luke is striking from the low point, which is the floor drain, to the high point in the middle. So the floor comes back up there, and now where he is, that from that high point in the middle, it comes back down to this center drain. So there's a lot of sloping going on in one of these, basically a simple 30 by 30 garage floor. But this is how you want your floor to be poured if you're having multiple drains in your garage. Like this is basically the standard to go by right here. And if your guys, if they're not doing it like this, you're probably going to have a problem, I'll be honest with you. You're going to have a low point somewhere. You're going to have a puddle somewhere. You're not going to be happy. I've seen floors like this where we've gone in to try to fix them that other people have poured, where the floor drain is actually the highest part of the floor. Water runs away from the drain to the back corner. Like I just don't understand that. I can't comprehend how you can mess something up so bad. But like I said, we do it every day, so it's standard for us. It's easy for us, and I probably take that for granted a little bit. So nothing about what we just screeded is basically level. It all goes down, then back up, then back down, and then it's going to go back up to the concrete wall here on this side. Switching out our screeds here because that's only about 8 feet from the drain to the wall, so we want to screed. That's about 7.5 to 8 feet long. You don't want to overhang the screed into the other section of the sloped concrete that you've already screeded, because then you'll create a low point. And the same thing goes when bow floating. Like Darren's in the back bow floating. There's a certain way to bow float these that you don't mess it up. And I go over all this kind of stuff in the Concrete Underground, which is my training area. So if you want to really learn all the details about how to do stuff like this, how to pour concrete, finish concrete, even stamp concrete, even epoxy floors, then you got to join the Concrete Underground. All my trainings are in there. And just a good way to learn. And then there's also an option in there where you can come work for us for a week. You know, if you join the lifetime access portion of that, you could be right here with us today learning how to pour garage floors like this with 2 floor drains, and also how to finish them, you know, with the power trowel. So there's Luke. He's got an 8-foot screed, and he's just sloping the concrete to the drain. Simple as that. It kind of looks flat on the video, I know, but nothing about that is flat. It all has a slope to it. So that's the back half of the garage, right? It's about, you know, from the outside of the foundation, it's about 15 feet to those center drains, and that's how we do the back half. And now we're going to do the front half basically the same way, except we got the garage doors bond outs to deal with. You'll see those right here in a second. That gives you a good look at what Darren's doing with the bowl float. There's definitely something you don't want to do with that, and I cover that in the concrete underground training, or you're going to just mess up this whole slope. So that's the second truck. So we got rid of the first truck. He's over there washing out somewhere. Backed in the second truck. And now we can finish this thing off. There's a good view of me using that new mag float from concretetoolsdirect.com. Also, the bowl float we were using today was from them too. It's plastic. It's not fiberglass. It's not magnesium. It's not wood. And it seems to work good. They're lightweight, rounded edges, which is what we like on the bowl float. Mag floats are very lightweight. The concrete doesn't seem to really want to stick to them too bad. It washes off easy. So we were testing them out, and we kind of like them. Different, they got American flags on one. They got camouflage ones. That makes it kind of cool. So we set those garage forms to grade. Like, we shoot a line on there with a laser. We snap a chalk line. We tap con those boards on, and then we put braces on them to keep them straight. And we like to set them right to floor grade. We don't like them up, down, and we like to mag float right to the surface of them. Then we can screed off them. But there's also another reason for that when we finish. Again, I cover that stuff in the concrete underground, but setting those boards to grade is key. And then we still like to check it. Even though there are form boards, we know they're straight. We always check what we've mag floated, because you can't screw that up in front of the door. That's got to be level. So when that garage door sits down on that section of floor, it wants a perfectly flat, level area right there. That's probably the only thing that's flat and level, is straight across those garage doors. So again, Darren's in the white t-shirt screeding, right? He's on the part that he's going down to the drain. He's going back up to the high point right there in the middle. And then from there, he goes back down to the next drain, where the section on the outside of the perimeter where Luke is screeding, that chalk line is snapped at the same level all the way around the perimeter. And that's how we screed that right there. And again, bowl floating's key too. Luke's up here bowl floating now. He doesn't want to straddle the drain with the bowl float. He's got to run the edge of that drain. Looking at the bowl float right now, it's the right hand side of the bowl float. But as Luke is bowl floating, it's his left side. See how he runs the edge of the bowl float down the center of the drain? Like, that's how pros do it. That's a real key to that. Then Darren finishes up that last piece. We're going to just run the long screed across the door to check the door, make sure there's no dips or humps in the garage door area, which honestly there really never is the way we screed, but we still check it. Like I said, you only get one time to do this right, and you want to make sure it's the first time. So when we pull that across right there, we want that perfect. So when that garage door sits down, there's no gaps, there's no humps, and the garage door rubber seats perfectly. So that's the basic way to do a garage floor with 2 floor drains, 1 for each bay. Now let me know down in the comments if you have any questions about that, or maybe you had one done that was done differently, but that's really the only way to do it and do it right. You got to have that high point in the middle. You got to know how to screed all the different slopes. The perimeter needs to be all at the same level, and then all the water is going to run to each drain individually. We'll see you on the next one, guys.